family, welcome to Just K. We're all about health here, mind, body, and soul. If you're new here, consider clicking on that subscribe button and the notification bell. To all my subscribers, I love you and thank you for joining me again. Today we're going to talk about shadow work. So what is a shadow? Light travels in straight lines. So when an opaque object blocks that straight line of light, it becomes a shadow. Our shadow itself is the archetype of our unconscious mind that is composed of our repressed thoughts, our fears, our embarrassing emotions, or anything that we consider to be evil or something that we dislike or find inferior in ourselves. That's the part of ourselves we defy and deny. That is our shadow selves. Shadow work is the practice of healing and self-growth or surrender and acceptance of our shadow self. So our shadow self exists in our, like I said, in our subconscious mind. And that's the part of our mind that is not immediately accessible to us in our waking consciousness. There are many automatic skills that exist in our shadow selves, like driving a car, riding a bike, eating. These are things that exist in our shadow self. They're things we don't have to think about consciously as we do them once we learn them. It's also where our unexplained fears, phobias exist. It's where our dreams live. And it's because it's where our intuition is sourced from, is why it's so important that we take care of our shadow selves. We often hold on to the comforting, soothing parts of self-care. Self-care day. Let's have a bubble bath. Let's take care of our faces. Let's give ourselves a manicure. Let's make ourselves feel good. But let's keep in mind, you're really only doing a band-aid if we don't take care of the whole picture. And taking care of your shadow self is a major component of self-care. It's like cooking in a dirty kitchen, or watering a lawn full of dog poop, or even bathing in a dirty tub. If you're doing things to soothe you, then you want that. It's just a band-aid if you're soothing from the outside and you haven't taken care of the inside. It's common to see people today, especially in this environment and society we live in, that will really literally spend hours a day going ham on one person or another because a person said this or a person thinks that, a person looks this way or a person acts that way. The interesting thing about our shadow selves is, you've heard the saying, thou protest too much. The person protests too much is really protesting about the thing that they see in themselves. So when we complain about things that we don't like in others, when we complain about other people, it's usually something that we see in ourselves or don't like, and it could be from a past trauma or something that triggers, but it's definitely something that is in ourselves that we see that we don't like. Tend to disassociate ourselves from that part that we don't like and lash out at other people instead of healing ourselves from that trauma, trigger, or whatever it may be. There seem to be themes and patterns that repeat themselves when you need to do shadow work. If you keep going through a particular theme or pattern, especially pertaining to something that you see in other people that you don't like about yourself, or that you rebel against in other people that you aren't aware of, that is part of you, that it becomes a pattern that never fixes itself until the shadow work is done. The shadow work is important because, like I just said, your shadow self is where your intuition comes from. That's where your intuition is born. And if you are working on parts of yourself that you don't want to touch or think about, or you deny a particular part of yourself, but you really go in hard and don't like that in other people, your intuition is going to be just as sour as your viewpoint. And that's not an accurate intuition at all. Shadow work is something that has been going on at least since our ancient Egyptian ancestors. There was no difference between the seen and the unseen with our ancestors. The importance was placed on merging all of the components that are part of us. It was the Ka, or life force, being merged with the Ba, or the soul, also being merged with the Shu, or the shadow. All of these parts of us work in harmony, either balanced or unbalanced. So we're going to go look at our ancient ancestors and Kemeticism and the way they lived, the things they believed in. We've discussed the laws of Ma'at, but now we're going to go a little bit deeper. You know, there's laws of Amen. There are a lot of things we can look at to make it make sense. We know what our ancestors looked at and the things that helped guide them through what we've learned through astrology, numerology, the energies of these numbers. So now let's bring it down into what we can do every day to help ourselves. Do you hate liars? If you do, it's because you tend to stretch the truth, or have you experienced a trauma, probably in your childhood, of being lied to? Do you hate people who are always late? Are you on time? Or do you have some kind of issue pertaining to time that might have happened to you a while ago? These are things that affect our lives to the point that it can affect your health. These are things that were included in health. Our ancestors were definitely mind, body, and soul people. They knew how to stay in balance, not just with themselves and with each other, but with the universe and with nature as well. And those are the things we're going to be looking into in the next couple of weeks. That being said, not all traumas and past triggers can be worked through alone. I suggest you look at yourself and really research and think about doing some shadow work, especially as we go through these videos and discuss the way the ancient Kemets did it, with an understanding that if it's too hard and too deep, get some help. Talk to someone. Seek professional help. Keep in mind that if your mind is not right, neither are your body and soul. And if your body is not right, neither is your mind and soul. If your soul is not right, neither is your mind and your body. It all works together, whether you like it or not. It's up to you about whether it's going to be in balance or whether it's not going to be balanced. And we're all here trying to live healthy, happy, and prosperous together. That's all for today. Let's look at some shadow work, and let's look at how our ancient ancestors did it. So until then, I can't wait to see you for the next video. Remember to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell. Bye.